हुआ ही नहीं, किया ही नहीं।
नहीं, इंग्लिश में नीचे तो दूसरी जगह पे
हरे हरे कृष्णा। अभी यहाँ पे भगवत गीता पे अंग्रेजी में प्रवचन होगा। जो भक्त इसे सुनना चाहते हैं कृपया यहाँ बैठे रहें 7:30 से 8:30 बजे तक। हरे कृष्णा। देयर विल बी क्लास ऑन भगवत गीता हेयर ऑन इंग्लिश, सो दोज हु वांट टू लिसन इट बी प्लीज काइंडली सीटेड। क्लास विल बी फ्रॉम 7:30 PM to 8:30 PM। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा। यस करतल। आया ये बाहर कितना लेके गया है? बहुत झापा जा रहा है उसका। बाहर कहाँ लेके गया? जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text number 39. The chapter is entitled Karma Yoga. And this is the section where Krishna is talking about the danger of distraction, danger of sense gratification, danger of lust, and how to avoid the dangers. So this is verse number 39. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. It is said, purport, it is said that in the Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment. Just as fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex, and thus this material world is called Maithunya Agar, or the shackles of sex life. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of the material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this lust is a symbol of ignorance by which the living entity is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness. But actually, that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. So Krishna is continuing the theme of Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhava. Arjuna had asked a question few verses back that what is the force that pushes one to commit sin, although one is not willing to do so? We all commit sin, knowingly, unknowingly. But there is some force, Arjun says, although I know it is not the right thing to do, it is improper to do something, but some force from inside is pushing me to do. What is that force? So in answer to that question, Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushah anichhannapi varshneya baladivani yojitah. Anichhannapi, इच्छा नहीं होने पर भी baladivani yojita. It is dragging me out of force. What is it? Arjuna asks. And in answer to that, Krishna says, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava. He says lust alone, and later transformed into anger, is what is pushing someone to commit sin, which is born of the mode of passion. Rajoguna samudbhava. Rajogun se utpanna hua. And then Krishna goes on to describe the danger of lust. Later in the Gita, 16th chapter, Krishna talks about 3 gateways to hell. The 3 doors, the 3 gates that lead one to hell. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanamatmanah kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmadetat trayam tyajet. Krishna says, avoid 3 gates. त्रिविधम नरकस्येदम, नरक ले जाने वाले 3 रास्ते. कौन से? काम, क्रोधस तथा लोभ. लस्ट, एंगर एंड greed. तस्मादेतत् त्रयं त्यजेत. One should avoid these 3 gateways to hell. So that one thing is described here, the danger of lust. Can we take him? Okay. So Krishna says in this verse, Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina. This lust can cover the knowledge of a living entity. It's like a covering. So we have knowledge, we have awareness about what is right, what is wrong. We all have certain understanding by our upbringing, by our education, by our intuition. We understand this is right, this is wrong to some extent. But lust, काम, is something that covers it. आवृतम, ज्ञानमेतेन, ज्ञान को ढक देता है. ज्ञानिनो नित्य वैरिणा. It is the biggest enemy of a jnani. One who is knowledgeable, for him the biggest enemy is lust, because it covers the knowledge. And then he says, Kama rupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. So imagine there is fire. Fire के अंदर आप तेल डालिए. What happens? It increases the fire. Like the plane crash that happened, this full load plane, it burnt immediately. So if you pour oil into fire, then it is going to burn more. You cannot extinguish the fire by adding fuel to it. Right? You may think, Arey, because there is fire and it's eating burning everything, let me add oil into it, fuel into it. So at least it will be controlled. ऐसा नहीं होता है. The more you add fuel, it burns more. Similarly, Krishna says, lust is like fuel added. Already there is fire, and trying to fulfill our desires, trying to fulfill the desire is like adding fuel into the fire. It can never be satisfied. To some extent, it may appear to be satisfied. Sometimes you may think, I have this desire, let me indulge, let me enjoy. उसके बाद शांत हो जाऊंगा मैं. But Krishna says that there is no temporary relief. Later, when it comes up, it burns even more. So initially, fire is this much, and you are disturbed by it, and you try to pour oil into it so that the fire is extinguished. It may go down for some time, for a few moments, but later it becomes a bigger fire. And then you try to extinguish it by pouring oil, it becomes still bigger. So where is the end? It cannot be ended. So in this way, Krishna says, Kama rupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena. Dushpurena, it cannot be satisfied. Analena cha. So when the fire is low, or the desire for enjoyment, sense gratification is low, any enjoyment appears very pleasurable. मजा आ गया बोलते हैं हम लोग. Very enjoyable. Because the desire is under control stage. And when you try to pour oil or try to satisfy the fire, the lust, that experience of enjoyment is very pleasurable. But later when it increases in quantity, the size of the fire increases, we enjoy not for pleasure, but for relief. Because pleasure is far away now. The fire is burning so much, I want to get relief from the fire. So therefore I indulge. And that indulgence is not for enjoyment. It's for relief. Relief from the burning fire. And later when the fire increases even more, the size of the fire increases even more, enjoyment is far off, even relief is far off. We indulge because we cannot stay in that fire, just to run away, just like if a house is on fire. People just run away, right, for escaping the fire. Because we want relief. We want somehow save my life. Similarly, when the fire of lust is burning too much, beyond control, we indulge in it to escape from the miseries of the fire. Not just to enjoy. Enjoyment ka samay khatam ho gaya. So therefore, that is the stage of addiction. Like people have addictions of smoking, drinking, alcohol, drugs. Initially, someone who starts taking drugs or smoking, it is for enjoyment, pleasure, maza aa raha hai. And later what happens? I do it for relief, not to enjoy. The fire has grown. And later we do it just to escape the miseries brought about by it. And that applies to all addictions, whether it is drugs or alcohol or smoking or sexual addictions, any addiction. We do it because I cannot stay without doing it. So that's how Krishna says here, it is compared to unsatisfied fire. So in today's time, our media kind of adds fuel into the fire. The fire is already burning in everyone's heart, but the media will add fuel. Enjoy, 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 enjoy. All the advertisements and the movies, the Bollywood and the internet, billboards, all they are saying is enjoy. They burn the fire by adding fuel. And we think that is enjoyment. We chase after those pleasures thinking that this will give me enjoyment. We don't realize that gradually we are going towards the stage of addiction, after which there is no escape. There is no relief. So technology, although there are advantages of technology, but technology has a flip side also. Oftentimes technology is misused. Instead of using technology for service to society, technology is used for promoting all these negative desires in society. Therefore, we have to be careful. Both men and women are victims of lust. Sometimes we think men are victims of lust. When some crime happens, sexual abuse happens, so we feel men are the victims of lust. And then we impose all kinds of security measures and other strict punishment measures. We feel punishment measures, police have to be more strict, all these have to be increased, but both are victims. Men and women both are equally victims of lust. So both need education and training, not just one person, one class of people. So later in the Gita, Krishna talks about hierarchy of the body. Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha. Just like imagine a computer. Computer has a hardware, a software, and a user. And the hardware is like the body. So our body has 5 senses: eyes, ears, nose, skin and touch, skin and smell. So these 5 senses are there, and then there are the objects in the world. So many objects around us. The body has 5 senses which interacts with the outer world. So sense objects outside, sense organs in our body, they take the signals from outside into our system, which goes into the mind, central sense organ, which is processed by the intelligence. Intelligence is supposed to be acting like a compass, right or wrong, yes or no, good or bad, appropriate or inappropriate. And then the user will decide, the soul will decide, should I go for it or not? If the intelligence says it is good, go ahead, enjoy, use the senses and interact with the world. But if the intelligence says no, this is not good for you, this is dangerous, this is unhealthy, then even though the mind and senses want to enjoy, it will stop. And it will protect the living entity, protect the soul. Just like any virus attack happens on a computer. Then there are supposed to be antivirus software, which is like protecting the system. So, sabse below is sense objects. Above that, Krishna says, is the sense organs. They are active. Above that is the mind. Above the mind is the intelligence. And above the intelligence is the soul, the consciousness, the active principle. person who understands, who is conscious living being, the life force. This is the hierarchy. So the lust attacks, Krishna talks about where the lust attacks. How does the lust penetrate into the system? Mainly it attacks 3 places. So sometimes we may think, the objects are the problem. The advertisement, the movies, and this and that are the problem. That is triggering my lust. That is true to some extent. But there is an enemy inside also, which is getting triggered by the outside impulses. Where is the enemy located? Inside us. So Krishna says, Indriyani mano buddhir asya adhishtanam uchyate. Asya adhishtanam. Adhishtanam matlab place where this enemy is located. Which are those? Indriyani man buddhi. Asya adhishtanam uchyate. Lust is located in our senses, mind and intelligence. Prabhupada says these are the strategic places where the enemy has conquered. Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. Lust has conquered the territory by capturing mind, intelligence and senses. And a soul is trapped inside. Bechara, phas gaya andar. Trapped inside. The enemy has conquered everything. So therefore we need to attack the enemy. So how to attack? If the lust is occupying the intelligence and lust is occupying the mind and the senses, how to attack? So intelligence can be captured back by providing knowledge. You have to feed intelligence with knowledge, scriptural knowledge, wisdom knowledge, especially the knowledge of the Gita and our Shastras. Intelligence is hungry for knowledge, wisdom, good insights, good values. If we read regularly these books of wisdom, then the lust sitting inside of intelligence can be conquered, can be defeated. Therefore, regular reading of scriptures is very important. And because we don't read these books regularly, therefore we get attacked. Ideally, this should be a part of education system, where these are taught right from childhood. And because these are not taught, therefore we find so many problems in society. So by regularly studying Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. One has to regularly, daily study these scriptures. Then gradually our intelligence get aligned to what is right and what is wrong. So that's how we capture the intelligence. Then mind and senses. The senses can be tackled. Lust sitting inside the senses can be tackled by employing the senses, employing our body in various positive activities, especially by performing devotional service, spiritually nourishing activities. Prabhupada in various places says, therefore we have these temples. Temples are meant where people can come and perform services, cleaning the temple, worshipping the deities, taking darshan of the deities, serving the deities, decorating the deities. These are all places where we engage our body, our senses in serving. So eyes have a tendency to look at beautiful things. Use the eyes to look at the beautiful form of Krishna. We like to hear good music that is glorifying Krishna. We like to hear everything. We like to hear news, gossip. Here talks about Krishna, glorifying stories about Krishna, the narrations about Krishna's activities. If we don't hear these things, we will want to hear many other gossip going on in the world. I want to hear about that and that, of this person, that person, what is happening there and what is happening there. And we feel by regularly reading and hearing all these things, I will be happy. But we cannot be happy. It doesn't have the capacity to make us happy. But when we hear about the activities of Krishna and his various avatars, then the function of the ear is fulfilled. Similarly, seeing, we like to see beautiful things, but those things cannot satisfy our heart. It may appear to satisfy in the beginning, but it will only eventually it agitates the mind. Watching sensual pictures and videos, it simply agitates the mind. But initially it appears, wow, it is enjoyable. Therefore, we are supposed to take darshan of the deities of Krishna. When we absorb our eyes and mind in watching the decorated form of the deities, then it gradually pacifies the mind. The more we align ourselves, tune ourselves to into spiritual devotional things, the more our mind is withdrawn from external objects. Similarly, eating. We like to eat good food, taste good things. But instead of eating anything and everything from everywhere, Shastra says eat food that is a sanctified food that is offered to Krishna as bhoga. And then take it as prasad. Prasad means Krishna's mercy. Now you may say some scientist may come and test what is the difference. Nutritional value में कोई फर्क है नहीं. Minerals, vitamins and all, they are the same thing. But no, there is a difference. There is a spiritual difference. This food is spiritually nourishing and purifying. Whereas when we eat any ordinary food, it is entangling. It can entangle us in karma, karmic action and reaction. So therefore, when we get food in a temple, we don't call it food. What do we call? We call it prasad. Ordinary khana और prasad में बहुत अंतर है. So in this way, when we engage all our senses in connection with Krishna, then the senses are purified. Lust sitting inside the senses gets captured and purified. So lust in the senses is done. Intelligence can be purified by regularly studying scriptural wisdom. What is remaining? Mind. Mind is also a sitting place for lust. So mind can be purified by regularly hearing divine sound vibrations. Mantra. Mantra means that which delivers the mind. Manatrayate iti mantra. That which can deliver the mind is called mantra. So when we regularly vibrate certain combination of sounds in the form of a mantra, then the mind can come out of the grip of lust. Therefore we chant the Hare Krishna mantra regularly, because the mind needs repetitive activities. Same thing, you do it repeatedly. Like that story is there about that genie who came out of a bottle. Someone had a bottle of genie, and the genie one day came out and said, give me some activity, give me some task. So he said, okay, clean my house. He cleaned the house in a minute. Then what? Then clean the courtyard. वो भी 1 minute में खत्म. Clean the neighbor's courtyard. That also done. Build a house for me. So he kept on giving many tasks, but the genie would do in a minute. Then he got scared. If you don't give him a task, he is going to kill you. तो भी करे क्या? So then finally he came up with a trick. He told, get a ladder. Got a ladder and kept it near the wall and said, climb up, climb down, climb up, climb down until I give you a new task. जब तक नया काम नहीं दूंगा तब तक चढ़ते उतरते चढ़ते रहना. So in this way the genie was engaged. The mind is like a crazy genie demon. The mind wants something to do. But when the mind is given a repetitive task, what is the repetition? Chant the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Again the same thing. Again the same thing. Again the same thing. Keep on repeating. Fixed number of times. Ideally, as much as possible. At least a fixed number of times. Then the mind is ensured, हाँ, अभी जब तक ये खत्म नहीं हो रहा है ना, don't think of anything else. So that way mind is engaged. Otherwise the mind will think of thousands of things. One research said that a human mind in today's times processes more than 70 gigabytes of data in a day. 70 GB data in a day. That's the amount of information that is entering into our minds and processing happening. It's a continuous task. But what is this data? All garbage. How much of it is useful data? Very less. All kinds of propaganda, gossip, false news, fake news, useless news coming into our system, and we are wasting our time processing that data. And after that you tell the mind to chant Hare Krishna. Mind is too tired. Or the mind doesn't have time. You call someone for a satsang program, they say, we don't have time. 72 GB data process करना है ना, समय का है. So therefore, mind has to be given a repetitive task. And therefore, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, this is the only method that can help us attain spiritual connection, spiritual perfection. All other processes are less effective. You may do yoga, you may do other dhyan. They have some value, but not as effective as chanting divine names of God. They have an extremely high effective value. Harer namaiva kevalam. Harer naam, harer namaiva kevalam. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. In this age of Kali, no other method will work as effectively as this one. So therefore, these sitting places of lust has to be addressed. In the Ramayana, we find the story of Ravan, the embodiment of lust. So we know the story how Ravan wanted to capture Sita, and he first sent whom? Marich. You know the story, right? Marich came, and Marich tried to fight with Ram, and Ram defeated him. And Marich came and reported to Ravan, saying, do not ever face Ram. Although he may look like a human being, he is far more powerful than you can imagine. So Ravan said, okay, पंगा नहीं लेना Ram के साथ. Initially he wanted to capture Sita, but then after Marich's warning, Ravan decided, leave Sita. I have so many other wives, that's enough. I can enjoy. Then later the Shurpanakha incident happened. So Shurpanakha came to the place where Ram, Lakshman, Sita were staying. And Shurpanakha was attracted to Ram. So she went to Ram and she wanted to marry Ram, but somehow Ram rejected the offer. Initially they played games, Ram and Lakshman. But then Shurpanakha then wanted to harm Sita. So then Ram said, enough of playing games with Shurpanakha, stop her. Otherwise she will maybe kill Sita. So then Lakshman went and cut off her nose, Nasik. So then Shurpanakha, with her bleeding nose, in terrible pain, she goes to Ravan and reports the whole incident to Ravan. Now, how she reported the incident is interesting. So she doesn't say the real news. See the modern media, mainstream media, how they manipulate news. Typically, that's what Shurpanakha did. Instead of telling that I was the one who tried to attack Sita, and I was attacked to Ram, and then I was trying to attack Sita, and then Lakshman cut off my nose. This is not what she reported. She reported, I went there to get Sita for you. Sita is so beautiful, she deserved to be your wife, O Ravan. She is now staying with Ram, an ordinary human being. She doesn't deserve to stay there. You deserve her. She deserves to stay with you. She deserves to become your king, your queen. Therefore, to get her for you, I went there. But what happened? That horrible Ram and Lakshman, they misbehaved with me and they look at my condition. So when Shurpanakha narrated Sita's beauty, Ravan again revived his lust, which was ठंडा पड़ा था कुछ समय मारीच का warning के कारण. But after hearing Shurpanakha's description of Sita's beauty, Ravan again, his lust got triggered. And then again he started making plans for kidnapping Sita. And then he did the whole thing. Marich comes as a disguised deer, and the whole thing happened. Sita was captured. So Shurpanakha is like media. Will never report the actual incident, but instead will report the matter in such a way that it triggers our base animalistic desires. Several years back, there was an incident in Delhi, that Nirbhaya case, how it kind of shocked the entire nation. Very horrible rape case in a bus. So why now? Then after that whole incident, people wonder, how? Why? Why such cases? And after the whole thing got over, and then the mood of the country was, we need to have stricter punishments. We should catch them and punish them so that they don't repeat such cases again. All said and done. But even if we establish stricter punishment, death sentence, and whatever we decide, is that the main problem of society? Will stricter punishment alone stop such cases? That's not enough. There is a bigger problem, much more rooted in society. That's the cultural upbringing, cultural ambience of society. What are we promoting as values to be followed? What are the values made into a propaganda in society? Look at the movies, look at the billboards, look at internet. What is the thing that is promoted there? And if these things are promoting one thing, definitely that will have a consequence in society. where movie is a place of glamour and sensuality and vulgarity. Every Bollywood movie, every internet site, billboard, if the same things are promoted there, why should we be surprised when such incidents happen in society? No one ever dares to ask the question, why Bollywood is promoting this? Promoting through the clothes we wear, the entertainment that we follow, the billboards and the parties that we go and enjoy, the language that we use. Everywhere this is promoted. Gross sexuality is promoted. And then when in real life something like this happens, we are surprised. ऐसे कैसे हो गया? ऐसे कोई कैसे कर सकता है? That's a hypocrisy on our side. Why it should not happen? That should surprise us. Everywhere this is what is promoted. This has to happen. Again. So who are talking against this? Why don't we raise our voice against depiction of these things in movies and entertainment? That no one wants to speak. We are only simply talking about stricter punishment, law enforcement, police are inefficient. Why don't we talk about this? And if anyone talks about this, we say, oh, he is old-fashioned. This is an old-fashioned idea. Come on, society is growing. Let us adapt to growing trends. This is the trend. How can you do this? Even women want freedom, men want freedom. Don't go back to 500-year-old ideas where you separate everyone. In Ravan's kingdom, everyone wanted to say the same thing that Ravan wanted to hear. Ravan didn't like to be warned. If you know Ravan's history, before attempting to kidnap Sita, he had already tried to kidnap many women from different parts of the universe. And he had got them all to Lanka and they were kidnapped and staying there. One time he tried to kidnap an Apsara named Rambha. Rambha happened to be his nephew's wife, Kuvera's wife. Younger to him, far younger to him. And he attempted to molest her. But then Rambha cursed him. What was the curse? If you ever try to kidnap or abuse any other woman in the future, you will die. Therefore, he never attempted to exploit Sita. He only kidnapped her. Unless Sita agrees, he couldn't do anything. So he was waiting and he had given a deadline to her, 1 year. If not 1 year, if you don't agree to enjoy with me within 1 year, then I will kill you and eat you up. This was a warning. So this is Ravan's history. In his kingdom, no one dared to tell him, Ravan, give up Sita, let Sita go back to Ram, and you enjoy here. Everything you want to enjoy, everything is there, available here. एक सीता के पीछे क्यों पड़ा है तू? No one dared to tell him. No one, because Ravan didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to hear that. What he wanted to hear? What he wanted to hear, that's what everyone told. No, what you are doing is right. Continue. Ram and Lakshmana are incapable. And if at all they come here, we will defeat them, kill them. We will go and attack them. But you should keep Sita. You are the king of the whole 3 planetary systems. You deserve to enjoy Sita. Somehow get her under control. And don't worry, we are there to support you. If at all anything happens, we will handle. This is what everyone said. But one person had the courage to tell the truth. Who was he? Vibhishan. So everyone else is like mainstream media. They will propagate what everyone wants to hear. Ravan wants to hear. Vibhishan spoke against it. He spoke the truth. But then what happened to him? Ravan banished him. Ravan rejected him. And Vibhishan came and joined Ram's army. Similarly, in today's times, we want to be politically correct. Everyone wants to be politically correct. And no one wants to speak the truth. No one wants to say, this is the problem. No one dares to speak against what is depicted in Bollywood, what is depicted in online social media. No. Because we want entertainment. And if you speak against it, you are labeled as outdated, old-fashioned, all those things. So therefore, the Gita is clear. Gita says, Avratam jnanamete na jnanino nityavairina. Nityavairina. This is your greatest enemy. Lust is the greatest enemy. Kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. So if at all we want to find a solution, we have to reduce, at least avoid. If we cannot reduce outside, at least we should avoid indulging in these things. Indulging our body and mind and senses into consuming these things. It's a consumption. Consumption is not necessarily through mouth. So these two words are used, wish and vishay. What is wish? Poison. So wish kills us by consumption. When you consume wish, you get killed, you die. Whereas vishay will kill you by contemplation. When we contemplate on these things, then it kills us. It can burn us from inside. So therefore, unless we avoid our mind and senses dragged by these temptations and distractions, we cannot practice spiritual life nicely. Because the mind is always distracted. And when we try to focus our mind and senses into Krishna, very difficult. So as much as possible, we stay away. As much as possible. Sometimes we may have to. If we are living in this world and we encounter, we will definitely cannot avoid completely. But at least as far as possible, we try to avoid. And then we have to re-spiritualize our lifestyle and our culture. By adopting more and more Krishna conscious aspects. Prabhupada said these temples are the places where we can train our minds and get attracted to Krishna. They are like oases in a desert. Desert where there is no land, there is no water. At least one place in an entire desert-like city where we can come and learn, get trained about spiritual values and principles. So therefore, we come here, we learn, and then we go home, go back, and try to apply these principles as much as possible. And when we do it on a regular basis, then our mind, in spite of all the temptations and distractions, we can remain Krishna conscious. So Krishna continues his theme later also in these verses. It all talks about the danger of lust. How even mind, even if one of the senses is dragged by some distraction, it can destroy, ruin our life. We see the story of Ajamil. Ajamil was a nicely trained young man. The Bhagavatam describes how he had all the good qualities. If you hear the qualities, it will appear like he was a big saint. Saint with best speech, best behavior, the most gentle person, respectful to elders and superior, respectful to parents, taking care of his family members, very expert in shastric understanding, and very good at yagyas and sacrifices, very charitable. All the best qualities one can imagine anyone, Ajamil had. But somehow he got attracted to a prostitute, and then he became the most third-class person. And then we know how Yamaraj, at the time of death, Yamadutas came and they were having an argument with Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. And Yamadutas tried to justify why this person deserves to go to hell. Because he has committed so many sins. The most saintly person, by association with a prostitute, lost all his good qualities and deserved to go to hell after committing all sinful actions. And then the Vishnudutas came and said, no. Although he has committed all these sins, one good thing he did was he chanted the name of Narayan. But otherwise, without the chanting of the name of Narayan, he actually deserved to go to hell. The most saintly person becoming the biggest sinner. So this is the danger of lust. We may think, I am controlled, I don't mind, I have control over my senses and mind. I will never do such a thing. I will never think of doing such a thing. But it doesn't work like that. If Ajamil can become the biggest sinner, we all can become. So in this way, our scriptures warn us about the dangers of lust. Never take it lightly, thinking, oh, my culture, in my house this has never happened. Parents many times say, we never brought our children like this. We never gave this samskar to our children. And when the child becomes a teenager, the most samskar yukta bacha becomes the biggest debauchee. Everything gone haywire. And the parents come to us saying, कुछ तो संस्कार सिखाओ, हमारी बातें सुनते नहीं बच्चे. And we have the children's program. So when they are with peers, when they are in the college, schools, we lose control. We feel all these are outdated ideas. ये culture and संस्कार and धर्म की बातें कर रहे हैं, भगवान की बातें कर रहे हैं. Excitement, social media, Instagram, Facebook, इसमें तो मजा है. So Krishna continues this theme, and we will continue the discussion next week also. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna. You want to add something? Hare Krishna. So please stay for Shayan Kirtan. We will have Kirtan now.